We're back in episode 9. We're recapping week 10 here on our Fantasy Football Nerds podcast. And last week was a very interesting week. It
No, it's not.
had a lot of ups and downs, honestly, in comparison to how we all thought it was going to go.
He's on the 30-yard line. The 20, the 10, touchdown!
One-man army, Rambo. Baby walking like Naomi Campbell. Made me wanna risk it all, take a gamble. Little butterfly tattoo on her.
Shit. I got it. I can't even get my glasses on. I
So I guess that's one way to put on a helmet.
That ain't right. Hey, you guys, welcome back to the football. Mike, it's hitting my glasses and I can't. Hang on, I gotta hold it. Alright, I lied. So the reason why we put this on is because in a video and a recording we just did, I picked the Niners to beat the Hawks.
With a good reason.
I'm still a Hawk. Oh, did I show you my new pictures?
No. Nice.
Yeah, we're taking a little detour for this episode. Give me a second.
That's cool. Okay.
Hang on. Oh, wait. I can't show those ones. Those are a Christmas gift for somebody. I can't show those ones.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because I don't think they watch it, but I'm not taking the chance. I got the Chancellor one, picking off Larry Fitzgerald, and I got the Stadium one right there behind me.
Nice.
And then I gave my Ariana's got the helmet, and then the Marshawn one from the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
Against Green Bay. What were we doing?
We're back in episode 9. We're recapping week 10 here on our Fantasy Football Nerds podcast. And last week was a very interesting week. It
No, it's not.
had a lot of ups and downs, honestly, in comparison to how we all thought it was going to go.
Okay, I don't want to talk about it.
Like, as usual, 3 matches go the way we thought it was going to go. 2 matches did not go how I thought it was going to go, but it actually didn't even go that bad for one of the teams. Like, realistically, I fell apart. So did Mira's team. We didn't even break 300, both of us, but she ended up taking that win. The projected over under was she was going to be 38, and I was going to be 38. We actually ended up being 25, so we're actually closer than originally intended, but she still beat me on that one. Mahones beat Blue Green. The predicted over under was a 66-point gap. Ended up being a 20, actually more than 100-point gap, 118 points, so it almost doubled, which is kind of crazy. Blue Green's team fell apart. He struggled in being able to, like, his team was not doing well in any kind of fashion. He had 6 guys lose him 42 points, and he had 2 earn him 26. So he only ended up losing actually 16 points on projection, but Mahones had 6 earn her 86 and 2 lost 50 for 36 improvement on projection, widening that gap. A 50-point increase on what was supposed to be a 60-point gap. So that's where that came from. So not really doing bad or Rose doing bad, but just with Mahones out overperforming.
Yeah, just with them getting better performances out of their players.
And then we had Morningstar and Curtis. Now Curtis missed the lineup call. He was supposed to have 4 categories. He won 3 categories. It was projected to be a 109-point difference. Ended up being a 130-point difference. Cody's team fell short by about 8.5 points. Curtis's team fell short by about 28 points. And those points, actually, he lost a majority on Curtis's side from 5 guys losing him 40 and 1 guy earning him 11 more for an average of 28 down. And then Cody had 4 guys earn him 24 points, so 6 points per person on average.
Yep.
Whereas he had 5 guys lose him 32.4, so he lost 6 points on average. So that's where that kind of evened out. Still maintained that 100-point gap on his side. He almost got into projection, but Curtis falling short, not getting the bye guys changed out, really pushed that forward.
Yeah.
And then Whiskey versus Easty. Now, Whiskey was supposed to lose this game by about 40 points, 47.
He's mad at me, though.
Why?
Mikey's mad at me because they talked back to him. But Mikey's mad at me.
Well, stop talking crap about him.
He texted me last night. He goes, "Where I can watch your podcast?" And I'm sorry. He goes, "I don't have Kirk Cousins." I'm like, I didn't know. I don't pay attention to everybody else.
I've got cousins. So that match, it realistically, Easty could have won this match had the Denver Broncos.
That's what you get, Mike. That's what you get for talking crap. That's what you get for coming at me.
Had the Denver Broncos made that field goal at the end of the game to push them into tie with the Chiefs rather than losing by 3, Easty would have won that match because that would have given him 6 points. All he needed was 3 to win this game, 3.5. But because he missed that field goal, he lost those points, didn't get it. The actual ending over-under put Easty losing that match by 40, or by literally 3 points, 3.3, where it was supposed to be a blowout on his side by 45. So just his team didn't perform. His team fell short just because they struggled in some categories. Realistically, biggest miss, his kicker. That's what really cost him last week. But he had 6 guys losing 11 points on average for 56.
Mine's gone.
Hmm?
Buckner's out. He's on the IR.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. I mean, that takes us to your match against Armchair.
Now you shut your pie hole.
You got your second loss for the year. Second loss. I mean, you talked some mad crap at Easty, and then it came back and bit you pretty hard, didn't it?
Hey, shut your pie hole. We're not talking about it.
You were supposed to win by 12.5 points. You ended up losing by 44 because Armchair's team overperformed by 30. You underperformed by 28, flipping that category drop. Like, yes, Armchair had a total of 5 guys earn him 71 more points for an average of 14 points per guy improving. He lost 11 or 10 points per guy. So he actually averaged out 30 positive, which is not bad. But you had 7 guys lose you 61 points for 9 points per person who underperformed, and 2 guys who did really well earning you 34. But those 7 that lost points dragged that down for you.
100. Well, I was down. I was up by 10 going into Sunday, though.
Well, yeah, because Lamar Jackson had 117 points. Burrow had 136.
And then my defense had 27. Or 26 or whatever it was.
Yeah, your kicker had 20. Nope. Yes, 20.
Yeah, Buckner had 20. Yeah, now he's hurt. That's
which was
great.
5 points better than what was needed. But then every other guy on your team underperformed by either a little bit or a lot.
Yeah, I put in the wrong tight end. I went against my gut and I didn't put in Andrews like I said. Like I didn't put in Andrews like I told myself I needed to, and I didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you look at...
I might have had him. No, I wouldn't have.
No.
60?
That wouldn't have been enough to push you over the edge.
60, yeah, 65, yeah. So it would have made it 20 instead of 40.
Mm-hmm. But like when we look at the scores from last week, the Ravens and the Bengals had a shootout, 34-35. Mm-hmm. The Giants and the Panthers in Germany, the Panthers took that game 20-17. Daniel Jones was doing a decent job moving the ball, but Carolina was stopping them pretty good. I think that was the most aggressive football I've seen on the Panthers side of being able to hold on to. Yes.
Seattle lost to the bye week.
Seattle lost in the bye week.
36-2.
Yikes.
Got a safety right at the end.
Like, the Panthers played really good at home, but in Germany. So they did a great job of taking that victory and then going 3-7, not 2-8. They gave them a loss to the Giants. The Patriots 19-3 against the Bears. Williams did not look great in that game. They looked phenomenal. Huh?
They couldn't get anything going.
Well, no, they had quite a few sacks against Williams. He couldn't move the ball. He was just under constant pressure. Yeah,
they would get no protection.
Yeah, and then we had the Bills and the Colts. Now I know they're 4-6, and the Bills are 8-2, but with Allen, he threw 2 interceptions that game, but even then he still threw incredibly incredible amount of points.
Yeah, but then but the other side of that coin is that the Bills defense also forced 4 turnovers. So
yeah. Like 4 turnovers, they had 10 points every period except for the third quarter. So, I mean, they did a great job of moving the ball, getting field goals, and continuing to go.
Did you say period?
I did. I want to see your reaction. I know it's not hockey. It's not periods. It's by quarters.
Are you a woman?
No. Are you? You don't know. And then we had the Chiefs and the Broncos. Now, if the Broncos had made this field goal, the Broncos would have won the game.
I get so tired of this crap.
So,
I'm so sick of it.
This is where Eastie's team, like I said, could have won the game, as if that field goal had not been stopped. The Broncos would have won the game.
Hang on. I got to look at it because I think he went right up the damn middle. Hang on a second.
He did. I think it was on the left tackle he went through rather than straight by the center, but it was just a little bit off to the side that he made it by.
The whole left side of the line got bowled over.
Yeah.
Holy smoke.
Yeah, they wanted that. They wanted to stop that field goal, and they were going to stop that field goal. It was aggressive.
Then stop. Come on, Joe. Come on, Josh Allen. Don't let me down, baby.
So, the Saints beat the Falcons last week, 20-17. Now, Kirk Cousins, he had 1 interception. He had quite a few completions. He had more than half percentage, so he was on pace with what he's been doing on average. But because of the amount of times that they got stopped and they couldn't complete 4th downs or couldn't get out of the third, They just
couldn't convert.
Like last week, Saints had the number 1 defense for the amount of tackles, the amount of sacks, and the amount of passes defended to prevent the Falcons from doing something. So we'll see if the Falcons could do something this week or how the Saints go, but they had a really good run at it. That's really where that came from. And then we had the 49ers beat the Buccaneers. Now, Mayfield struggled last week. He had a hard time picking out people to get passes to, had a hard time getting the ball advanced with Irving. So just Purdy did better in managing the field in comparison to Mayfield. So we'll have to see how it goes this week, but they won by 3 points. This one was interesting. The Commanders and the Steelers. Now, every quarter, the Steelers got a touchdown. And every quarter, they got closer and closer and closer to beating the Commanders. All they needed was one more, a safety, a field goal, something to win that game so they could go undefeated at home. But then they fell apart. Daniels did a really good job at getting close targets, but the further away he went, the more engaged the Steelers defense was on him. He only had a 50% pass completion rate, which was not good for Daniels because he averages about 17 yards per pass or something like that. He was averaging about 10 this time. It was all short. Yeah, 68% pass completion rate. His average was 6 yards per pass that game, which is less than half of what he typically has been doing each week. The rookie's been doing a really good job, but Russell Wilson did a good job of pushing the Steelers into that victory and just keeping the team moving. We did better than Daniels.
That's because Daniels is a kid and Russell's 35.
Yeah, Russell's got some more time in the league.
Russell's 35 years old. He's 10 years older than this kid. He's like 15 years older than this kid.
He's what? Not 20, 21?
20. Oh, shucks. I think 23 or something like that.
2000. So he's 23.
Yeah.
24.
Yeah. Russell's like
His birthday's
35.
soon. He's 23 currently.
Huh?
His birthday's next month.
Yeah. Good for him. Mine's in 2 months.
Vikings at Jaguars. Now this game was tough to watch tick by because the Jaguars got one touchdown to start off the entire game and then nothing the rest of the way. Lawrence did not do a really good job in managing the ball, keeping passing going forward. He had a lot of interceptions, if I remember right. He had a lot of bad plays. So they did a really bad job of managing the ball and keeping everything going forward while the Vikings all cared about was getting closer to field goal. And they got one field goal in the first quarter, one in the third, and then two in the fourth. And that's all they needed was just to get that forward. 142 yards.
But if you also look at, I'm also reading this right here. If you also look at, they also held the Jaguars to 143 yards.
Yeah, they stopped the running game and the passing game. Yeah. I think that's the fewest yards allowed all year by any defense. So they did a good job of holding him back. I think the Vikings had the best defense last week in terms of this, aside from the Saints forcing all those turnovers for the Falcons. So, and we had the Chargers versus the Titans. Now, Herbert did a really good job pushing the ball forward, even though Lewis was...
Herbert had, 2 touchdowns, a rushing and a passing?
Yes. Yeah, 2 touchdowns, rushing and a passing. He has 11 touchdowns so far this year, where we got Levis last week. He didn't
play bad either. It's just his defense didn't help him. They just couldn't get the ball moving.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah, and then with Will Levis, his 2 touchdowns were to Calvin Ridley, who went 584 and 2. So
and he averaged 7.5 yards per touchdown or per pass. And his longest pass was 41 yards. So his longest pass is his best pass of all year. But even then, he had his best completion rate, his third highest yardage, his fewest completion rates besides the one where he threw 4 attempts against Miami, whereas everything else has been the other quarterback. So Levis did not a bad job, but just the defense didn't back him up enough for him to be able to carry that game forward.
I don't think they gave him enough chances. So
no. Well, then we have the Eagles.
I love talking about this one.
Jalen Hurts. Holy cow. 4 touchdowns. I believe 2 of them were rushing and 2 of them were passing.
2 passing, tush push because, he likes being behind men. And I think he had a scramble, he had a little broken play scramble, I think.
Well, and isn't this the game where Saquon Barber did the backwards hurdle?
Barkley, yeah?
Yeah. Saquon Barkley was mad this game. He had 70 yards, but he was doing incredible things in those short rushes to really carry him forward. And then, Brown did a great job as well, 5 receptions, 109 yards, so about 21 yards per reception. So that they were moving the ball well, and without Prescott present, the Cowboys were struggling. So that's really where...
As we talked about earlier, they're going to struggle again this week.
Yeah. Well, we got the Cardinals.
Because now C.J. Stroud's going to roll into town and just put a whooping on them.
Yeah. Well, and then we got the Cardinals and the Jets. Now, Kyler Murray did a great job moving the ball. Only missed 2 passes the entire game, 31-6. And they held the Jets to 2 field goals the entire game. Benson carried for 6 yards on average. Connor caught for 14 yards on average. Murray was averaging... What was his average for that game? It was
8.5 or something.
11 yards on average per pass, which is
somebody in hockey scored.
Nope, someone dropped a team. So Kyler Murray's done a really good job moving the ball. His average has gone up almost every game for amount of passes he's been throwing. His completion attempt has been going up, 92% completion rating. He has 1 interception or 3 interceptions all year. So pretty good rating for him, only 2,100 yards. We'll have to see how he does this week, but the Cardinals definitely had the advantage in this game. And then,
and we also talked about this in our other little segment we're going to put out here soon. Is he's old? Aaron Rodgers now looks old.
Yeah,
like it's beating a dead horse. But it was like when we talked about Russell Wilson in Denver. He looked old. He looked like he's not. Aaron Rodgers does not look like the high caliber quarterback that he once was.
No,
he's getting old. He's had surgeries, and he's just not. He's not the Aaron Rodgers of old. Yes, not a lot of people can go back to it, but I thought Aaron Rodgers would come out this year stronger and just start slinging the ball over the field, and he's not.
Yeah,
I'm glad he's not on my team. I have the MVP on my team. I'm good.
I know. We got the Lions and the Texans. Now, this game came down to a buzzer beater field goal that had the wind caught it and moved it left. They would have tied and gone to overtime. But Bates, 52 yards
of his balls.
52-yard field goal. 3 points.
Okay.
By the upright. Good. And then that game.
Okay. I want to do this because I know we're going to do this. Hang on a second. Let me see my
seeing what you're doing.
There it is. There it is. Okay. So, no. Pause. Okay. So if that one was close, we're going to do something here for you guys. This is the one I was telling him about.
Jason Myers gave me a goal years ago. Yeah.
Look where he puts this. Same exact spot, just on the other side. Same exact spot, just on the other side. It was just like, it's just like, I get it. It pushed. You pushed it. I get it. But if you're aiming for the middle, how the hell do you kick it like 7 yards left?
Right.
If you know the wind's there, why not aim to the right?
Look at it.
Whoops, excuse me.
When you look at it, Bates had 2. So he had 2 extra points that he made the entire game because they had 2 touchdowns. So he got 2 extra. He got 2 singles, but then he had 2 field goals. He had one in the third quarter. I don't remember who got the other one, and then he got the game-ending kick in the fourth quarter. They had someone else kicking or something that got them the extra point in the third quarter to get them to 6, because it's not showing him getting that, which is interesting because I thought he got all the kicks, but whatever. But if Bates hadn't been on the field and he hadn't been the kicker for that game, it would have been a different story, and they would have gone overtime. I'd be curious to see how the Texans would respond, and then who would win the first drive of overtime. But they did a really good job. And then Monday Night Football last week, the Dolphins beat the Rams by 8 points. They stopped their 3-game losing streak with Tyreek Hill making that catch in the third quarter, and then they had their 2 field goals to really push them further away from the Rams. And they got 3
to win that game. Yeah,
the Rams had 5 field goals the entire game. They couldn't get close to the end zone. They couldn't make any touchdowns. They literally just got field goals.
Uh-huh.
And like the total yardage that they had was, they still had 300 yards that game, but nothing to show for it. They just couldn't get there. They had four sacks, lost 36 yards.
They couldn't get the ball rolling, is what it was.
No. Yeah. And then
everybody gets like that.
Miami had 207 passing yards with one touchdown, and they had 67 rushing yards, whereas the Rams had a lot better yardage. They just, nothing to show for it. So it's interesting to see how it went last week, and that's really what pushed us to who won each of the different matchups. Because like when you look at it from last week, you and Armchair had the highest points for your quarterbacks, but they had their shootout that they were going for. Mira's Eagles had 57 points on defense, which put her above Caleb by 20 points almost, because Caleb was struggling last week. Cardinals were shutting him down. Yeah. We had Jamar Chase doing a great job. Oh, sorry. Chase is for Mahomes, not for Whiskey. I got that wrong. But 83 points for Chase.
Learn how to read. Put your glasses on.
Shut up.
Here.
Like, Whiskey won, but Hurts earned him 80 points. Hurts actually lost him points in comparison to everyone else, so he came in on projection. If Eastie's team had done better, like Stafford still did great, still passed the ball, and the Chargers defense still earned him points, but his kicker losing that field goal and the other guy's not earning to projected were why Whiskey won last week. And then Josh Allen for the Bills helped Morningstar stay on top. The Lions earned him 33 points. Robinson earned him 60. And then Connor, Taylor, and Hawkinson were the biggest earners for Curtis at 45, 43, and 30. So like if Curtis's team had averaged another 130, they could have gotten there, but it didn't happen. So it's interesting to see how football goes. And I'm really excited to watch how everything still plays out. It's not 400 to 100 anymore. There's not rushing or punt return or kick return or massive defense points. It's playing football, earning points, seeing how stuff goes forward.
What the hell?
So I like our league and how it's playing out, but what the helling for?
Your sister's got 150 points already? God damn.
Yep. Barkley 71, Philadelphia Eagles 36, and Brown 24.
That's either going to hurt her or that's going to help her.
We'll have to see, right?
Because that's what happened to me. Remember, what's his name had three guys on Thursday night, and I was down like what, 150?
Yep.
And I like
263. So Blue Green's team would need to do serious work to catch up. But I mean, it's not Sunday yet. We have a lot of football left to play, a lot of football left to watch, and there's a lot of good matches this week. We'll have to see how it goes. What?
Your sister dropped Trevor Lawrence yesterday.
Yep, sure did.
And then there's one more thing we got to talk about.
What?
Our power rankings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on top where I belong.
Yep.
Armchair is now second.
Armchair stayed second.
Morningstar, huh?
Armchair has stayed second.
Stayed second. Morningstar is third.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis, third. Merritt is now fourth.
Yep. Merritt has backslid.
Curtis is 5. Mahones is staying at 6. Mikey, Coops at 7.
From being 5th to now 8th.
Yeah, Mikey's out 8th, but he might. I don't know. And then Blue Green at 9. You're at the bottom where you belong.
Yeah, whatever. I did not do well last week. If I had hit projection, I would have beat Meredith, but my team did not do well. My team's not averaging well. That average is pulling me down. I'm hoping that I can take a victory this week and I can be at 3-8 rather than 2-9. I'm projected to beat Curtis by about 11 points currently, but we'll see because Curtis's team has more strength than I do. What's the 5-4?
I'm projected to beat him by 5.
You're projected to beat Easty by currently 20 points.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. It's 30. It's like 33 to 37.
33, 331 to 352.
333 to 337.
Go to the scoreboard screen, and it'll show you the projected total.
Oh, because yesterday it was at 337 to 333 is what it was.
Yeah, but Ertz earned you almost 20 more points than he was supposed to because he did a phenomenal job.
Oh, okay.
Because Ertz earned you that gross increase, you got to see a lift there.
And he also got a 2-point conversion, so that helped too.
Mm-hmm. So realistically, right now this week, like I believe I'm going to win.
Oh, he had Eckler on the bench.
Yeah, well, because Eckler, it was supposed to be Robinson playing, and then Eckler being off, but then they ended up putting both of them in, and then because they were both in, they both earned points.
Might help. So we'll see. That one might help.
So I've got me winning, Mirith winning, Easty. I believe Easty's going to come back this week. I think Easty's going to beat you. I want to see you get a third loss. I think Morningstar is going to take that victory over Armchair, even though it's projected he's going to lose. But we'll see how like the Bengals do. We'll see how his Armchair's defense does. We'll see how Morningstar, like Caleb, if he puts in Caleb, bad. Puts in Allen and the Bills win, it's going to be Cody's week. And I think Mahomes is going to beat Whiskey because currently they've got 20
even if the Bills don't win, Josh Allen's going to show up.
Yeah, and because of Josh Allen, I think that's where it's going to be. So if Bengals struggle, Armchair loses this week. If the Bengals are phenomenal, Armchair wins.
Yeah.
But with Mahomes, like they both have had their quarterback, Whiskey and Mahomes have both had their quarterback play on Thursday. But realistically, the power comes within Mahomes' center line, not even her quarterback. So we'll have to see how that game goes. And then if Cincinnati falters, we're going to watch Whiskey's team not do well because he's going to lose points. And then the Raiders are going to struggle and the Falcons. And he's got some really good teams, but we'll see how they play.
Yeah.
And Mahomes has a lot stronger talent and potential in her points, especially with Jamar Chase and with Nakua on her line. And then the Saints defense. We'll see how those teams all go this week.
Yep.
So that's where I've got. Who do you think is going to win this week in all these matches? Do you think it's me or Curtis?
Curtis.
Do you think Mirith or Blue Green this week?
I still don't like your sister.
Never gave you that trade.
I'm going to say it every week.
I know. Your butt hurt about it, so I know.
Give me my Hydra. I'll take your sister.
Okay. Are you going Easty or you?
You better be so glad.
I'll put you down.
Recorded.
Are you going Easty?
Mm-hmm.
You going you? Okay.
I think Easty's.
Are you going?
I think Mikey's gonna find a way to get me.
So you're going you, but thinking Easty's gonna win.
I know I'm gonna win, but for this, I think he's gonna find a way to do it.
Okay.
Somebody's gonna pull a rabbit out of their ass, and I'm gonna get beat.
We'll see. We'll see. It'll
you know
be
what I mean?
though.
So like, personally, I'm gonna win. I already know it. But this way, like for the recording, and then put down Mikey.
So
you stop being mad at me now. I think you're gonna beat me. Stop being
here's the
mad at
interesting
me.
part. Here's the interesting part. With Easty's team, with who he's done trades and position swaps for.
Oh yeah, he's been doing a lot of moving.
Like if Jackson doesn't do well this week, if the Ravens don't do well against the Steelers, you're going to watch Easty's team kick forward because he's got Herbert as his primary quarterback and he's got the Rams. which they have a favorable matchup, in my opinion, but we'll have to see how that goes. And then his line is really spread across a lot of favorable teams, and you've got one team that you're relying on, so you need the Ravens to do well against the Steelers.
Well, that, and I'm also looking at Kamara. I'm also looking at
the Saints, yeah.
Swift, K9. Yeah. And then the other part of my two-headed monster with Jay Jettas.
Yeah.
So I'm also looking at. So I've got a two-headed Hydra that I need to do well, but I also have other pieces that can back it up if need be.
Yeah. Well,
actually.
And then, are you thinking Easty, or are you thinking Mahomes, or are you thinking Whiskey or Mahomes for that final match of the week?
Not K9. I don't have K9 in this week.
You don't have Kamara in this week?
No. K9. Kenneth Walker.
Oh,
running back to the Seahawks. No, I don't have him in. No, I have DeAndre Swift for Chicago. So it's Swift, Kamara, and Dobbins. That's who I got in. So, and Swift has been playing half decent for me. So, but in my head, I'm going to win, but he's got a chance to catch me somehow.
So are you thinking Whiskey or Mahomes for their match?
Cooper.
Thinking Cooper?
Yeah.
I mean, Mahomes hasn't touched their roster, and they still do a phenomenal job. On average, he's got 13
I wonder who that sounds like.
Shane from the baseball league, right? But
that's exactly what I said. I wonder who that sounds like. Who has a freaking monster ass team but never touches it? Like, are you kidding me?
But Mahomes' team was actually performing, whereas Shane's team was not doing anything all week.
Changing anything?
Yeah, I know. So, all right, guys, that's our Week 11 predictions and our Week 10 recap. Please stay tuned for next week to see how we go. See if Easty loses or wins this match against Kangaroo, and then we'll see if I can pull out another victory so I can go 3-8 rather than 2-9. Hey, my last match of the season is against Blue Green. If I can build a lead against Blue Green, I can potentially catch up to somebody and maybe get a playoff spot. We'll see.
Yeah, but you make the playoffs. Guess who you got to come up against, boy?
You. I know.
Actually, no, you're not going to come up against me because I'll have a bye week. So
that's true.
I would have to play. Oh, wait, we haven't looked at that. I don't know if it's in there yet, though.
It is. So you're still 1, Armchair still 2. We'll see how 3, 4, 5, and 6 play out. Currently, it's Meredith against Whiskey, seed 4 and 5, and then Curtis and Star in weeks are in the 3 and 6 bracket. Yep.
Yeah, and you guys are in the consolation bracket. Yeah.
It's got me versus Blue Green and the fit in the second match of the consolation bracket, and it's got Easty and Mahomes. Yep. So we'll have to see how it goes as this week plays out. We get closer and closer to the playoff week. 4 weeks after this week. 4 weeks to see who's got the playoff spot clinched, who's got their berth verified.
I think I play you in my dead man's week.
Week 14, sure do.
Yes. Thank God. Thank
hey,
God.
We'll see how it goes, buddy. All right, we'll see how it goes.
All right, y'all. Thank you all for joining us. We'll catch y'all later.
Have a good week. Enjoy some football.
One-man army, Rambo. Baby walking like Naomi, Campbell. Made me wanna risk it all, take a gamble. Little butterfly tattoo on her ankle. It go together with the one on my shoulder. I be like a sailor, swimming in the money. I was broke, won't go back. This a throwback, by the go in cold beer, baby, hold that. I'm not there yet, but I'm so close. Shine your light on me, I'm lost. Feeling around in the dark. I can feel it, I'm so close.